So hi everyone, good morning to all. Let's just start our session for today. And sorry for little bit confusion. So no worry. From next week we'll fix everything on time. Okay. So just let me set up everything and then we'll start. All right. So let me open my PPT. All right. So let me share my screen. So hope my screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good. So before I can start the session, I always prefer to ask if you have any question, feel free to ask me right now. So probably I'll try to help you, explain those query. Anything from the previous class, study class, because you guys must have done some homework after the class.
No, we didn't receive any recording session from your side.
Definitely you'll get the recording session very soon. Okay.
Yeah.
And probably today class and yesterday class, both recording is going to be, share today only. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will be very helpful to go through the
Yeah.
topics.
I know that will be very helpful. Definitely. It will be. Okay. So let me start. Okay. So what we'll do today, we'll little bit do the lab configuration part as well, because yesterday I showed about the how the lab has been fully configured about some features. But what I'm trying to do today, just from the scratch, this lab doesn't have any configuration. So let me start the lab as well for time being. So I'll, after the theoretical concept, probably 45 minutes or 1 hour, I'll try to do some basic configuration as well. So you guys understand how the configuration is going to happen initial level of this SD-WAN fabric. Okay. So this is what I'm going to explain today. So let's first focus about the theoretical part, where we discussed a lot of things yesterday. We discussed about the control plane, we discuss about data plane, we discuss about the switch fabric, right? We discuss about the how the uh, SD-WAN come in a picture when we compare to the legacy SD-WAN, and what was the benefits, different benefits. Means we have done discussion about this SD-WAN and the legacy WAN, about that all, like comparative analysis we have done. So that part also we have done discussion. Where is my slide? Yeah. So that already we have done discussion, and we also understand why we need SD-WAN solution. And we discuss about the closed box architecture. We discuss about the open box architecture. So we are going to move forward, right? So we'll try to understand how these different component come in a picture in the SD-WAN solution, and what are the like functionality of those components, because we know that there is a controller, there is a switch fabric, and there is a IO module. But why basically we use this, and how basically they are going to integrate in the actual SD-WAN solution. Okay. So if we talking about the SDN solution, we having a three flavors, right? Probably I'll explain this all, but let me just give the little bit brief idea about that. So SDN having a three flavors, that is known as a software defined network. This software defined network having a total three product. That first one is the SD WAN, you can think. The second one you can think about the SD LAN.
सर एक क्वेश्चन था।
Yes.
मैं ये कह रहा था कि सर जो अभी जैसे वो आ रहा है एचडी वैन सिस्को का, उसमें जैसे कैटेलिस्ट वगैरह का कुछ आ रहा है, तो उसमें कुछ मेजर डिफरेंसेस है क्या है सर, कुछ आइडिया हो?
Okay, yeah, I just covered that part also. So the catalyst SD-WAN, I believe you were in the last class of my last discussion. What is the major difference? Let me just brief that. Okay, so already I have covered that. So if you go on the YouTube channel, you'll find one of the detailed discussion about that. Let me show you. Let me share that video that we discuss about very detail. I have done discussion, the new and old one, comparative analysis, but still I'm sharing the video to you all. Okay. So
Okay.
I'll give the brief idea about that also. Okay, no need to worry about that.
Yesterday class or 2 or 3 days
No, no,
back?
no. It's last week I have just taken the open session for everyone just for the awareness. There
Oh,
where I just discuss about that. Okay.
got it.
So SDN having this is software defined networking. Defined networking having a three component. That is the first is the SD-WAN. Second is the SD-LAN. That is also known as the SD access. And the third one is the ACI. So SD-WAN is the completely for the WAN solution. So whatever the WAN, like we just want to send and receive traffic from the inside of your office to outside of your network, that definitely required the WAN. But when you talk about the complete LAN traffic, means you just want to communicate within the LAN. So how you make the good intelligence within the LAN, that is going to help with the help of the SD LAN or SD access. This is another component. Okay. Now, third one is for the data center. So this is for the pure LAN, and this is for the data center. That is the application centric infrastructures. So this is going to use for the data center. So if you have the data center where you want to use the leaf and a spine concept, then it is the ACI is going to come in a picture. So this is also very powerful product from the Cisco. So these all three are the next generation product, and every product having their own controllers. Likewise, this is main control is the vManage. For this main control is the DNAC, and for this main control is the APIC, right? So likewise, the vManage a central pane of glass. Similarly, DNAC is a central pane of glass, and APIC is a central pane of glass. By sitting on the APIC, you can do all the ACI related stuff, configuration management, troubleshooting. Similarly, by sitting on the DNAC, you can do the all SD-LAN, SD access fabric configuration management troubleshooting. Similarly, in the Cisco SD-WAN, you can do the vManage. You can just log in it and you can do all the configuration. So this is like SDN component. And so we are just covering one of the part of this SDN. We are not covering all three parts, because if you want to cover these all, there are different courses are designed to cover it. Okay. So this is what we are going to cover.
Pankaj, that ACI is the data center access
Yes.
concept,
Yes.
but DNAC is the same LAN concept. It involved to data center or involved to that sub-location branch office. So where to
It's
use
more
DNAC.
it's more about the branch locations, but if you want to even implement this solution in data center, you can do that, because some
Okay.
data center having the big LAN environment, so you can integrate. But more specific ACI is for the more data center stuff, but DNAC is
Yes.
also compatible with the LAN and data center also, so you can integrate that part also.
Okay.
There is no problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Both branch and data center, both.
Yes, it's like up to you.
Okay.
Right. Yes, Gaurav, you raise your hand, please.
Yes, sir. What I'm saying to you, sir, here, how many types of onboarding the VH?
How many types of onboarding the VH means?
Yes, sir. Means one is the process of PNP, one is the manual, one is the other way like CLI command. So how many types?
That's like there is like the ZTP or PNP is the one way, right? These two are the same. Okay. Then manual is like the normal bootstrap configuration you use, and by using that bootstrap configuration, you can onboard the any kind of the VH or CS devices. There's the most like common bootstrap configuration. You just require some basic configuration. By using that, the basic configuration, you can onboard that. The third one is like you again we can call as the basic system wise configuration. Again, this is a part of the bootstrap configuration. So you just define the 5-tuple system wise configuration by defining the 5-tuple information. That 5-tuple is like your host name. I'll come this all part later state. Then the system IP address and the org name, and the fourth one is the v1 detail, right? And the fifth one is the what missing, host name, system IP, org name we want. One more thing
Site
is
ID, sir.
site ID. Yes. Site ID. These 5 tuples mandatory. Without this without these 5 tuples, you cannot onboard this your VS. So we'll discuss later stage when I cover.
So this is done in notes, sir. For all the 4 process step by step, there is a notes will be provided by or not.
Yeah, it's already available. It's already available. Every notes is already every lab guides available. So when you go for this lab guides, so let's suppose you want to onboard any of the device. Let's think about you are just going to onboard the VS device. See, this is the system-wise configuration. This is the first thing, 5 tuples. You can see.
Okay,
And
okay.
ZTP process already we going to understand how the ZTP process is going to happen in this section. So we'll understand the step by step of how the ZTP process is going to happen. So these all steps. So these are the part of the syllabus we'll cover in the latest stage. Okay, how things
So,
is going
sir,
to happen.
anybody will ask the how to process by the JetTP. So I will just share the step which is mentioned in this PPT.
Yeah, definitely. You have to tell all 11 steps because there is total 11 steps how the one VH is going to be onboarded by the user of ZTP and what all the process is going to happen because there is a lot of catch to understand the process. So all processes are written here. I'll explain in the later stage. What are those?
Bangaj.
Hmm.
Yeah, Bangaj, sorry for that. That process happening inbuilt or how? Automatically.
Automatic inbuilt automatically it is going to happen. No need to do anything. So I'll explain how the configuration is going to happen, how the process is going to be initiated, why it is going to work on the J2E process, why not required in the manual process. So hold you guys your thoughts because we are the Day0 stage. We are discussing the component part. Later stage when we move to the one by one in the all section, then I'll explain step by step. If I go right now, then probably you guys will be confused and probably not understand the basic idea of the SD-WAN and the component of the SD-WAN. So definitely I'll start the configuration today, but let's first understand some theoretical part first. Okay.
Sure, sir. Understood. Understood.
Yeah. Thank you so much guys for understanding. Okay. So moving next. Where I was talking. Yes. So I was talking about. Let me just go here. I was talking about the solution. Before that solution, I was talking about the SDN component. So SDN component we summarize. We having a three product in the SDN. Especially we are talking about the Cisco. That's Cisco SD-WAN, Cisco SD-Access, and ACI. And we are just touching today as a Cisco SD-WAN. Recently, you might heard because who was the question that I believe the question asked by the Gaurav Tyagi, like what is the new announcement from the Cisco? So there is a new announcement from the Cisco where earlier it was known as the Viptela SD-WAN, right? So first you understand the what is the history, then they rename as a Cisco SD-WAN, right? And now they SD-WAN.
Viptela is one of the company right earlier.
Yeah. Yes. So the first name was the Viptela SD-WAN, then second name is the Cisco SD-WAN, then third name is the Catalyst SD-WAN. So there is a three versions comes in the like this SD-WAN solution. But if you understand, these all are same. There is no much difference is going to happen, right? So what is going to happen? Let me just open something to just show you.
Actually, sir, I was asking because the Viptela is the different company. Catalyst is
Yeah. I'm just.
So they did major changes or the minor changes in the software or the.
There is no much. I'm just showing that what changes is going to happen. Okay. See. So this is the latest release 20.12.1, right? When the release has been done from the Cisco side, the name has been changed from the Viptela SD-WAN to Cisco SD-WAN. It's become the Catalyst SD-WAN, right? So this is the new from the 20.11 series, 20.12 series. These are the latest version they have done the release right now. I believe the few months back they have done the release. So it's just rebranding. It's just rebranding. So originally when the SD-WAN was developed, that was Cisco doesn't develop this SD-WAN. Viptela was the company who basically designed this SD-WAN, and Cisco just acquired those company and just start selling the product. But they having some kind of the agreement, they just keep using their Viptela name instead of the Cisco SD-WAN. So that's why you find every device name like the vEdge, like the vEdge, vManage, vBond, because the V stand for Viptela Edge, Viptela Manage, and Viptela like what we say, the Bond and the Viptela Smart. So you can say here we having the component. See here. So vBond is the vBond. I'll explain the responsibility. vManage is the vManage, that Viptela Manage, vSmart, and the vEdge. These are the 4 components they have designed and developed. Designing and developing these all 4 components, later Cisco acquired that, and on behalf of the Viptela, because already it's a part of the Cisco company, they start selling their product. Later stage, they introduce the something new. They introduce something new, that is the C Edge, right? That is known as Cisco Edge, right? So this, they developed the Cisco Edge, but it keep remain the same, like the vBond remain the same, vManage remain the same, and vSmart remain the same. But this is going to be your C Edge. So now it also integrated the Cisco SDWAN. When they developed the Cisco Edge, like the CS device, they also rebranding its name as a Cisco SDWAN. But the underlying controller component is the same. Like vBond is the same, vManage is the same, vSmart is a controller, not going to be changed and not going to rename. But only we having a 2 flavor of the edges. One is the Viptela. That device is going to manufacture by the Viptela, right? Let me show you that device. So these are the devices, the actual routers of the Viptela. So when they are going to use these routers, based on these routers, when you are going to use, it is known as the vEdge. But Cisco also provide the solution. If you're having the existing ASR or ISR router, you can just change your image, like from the legacy iOS to the SD-WAN image. Once you upgrade the image and take the license, this is also become the SD-WAN router. So let's say suppose customer having already their ASR and ISR in their network. Why they are going to purchase these boxes? They have to spend huge money. So if you don't want to spend huge money, so basically you just upgrade your OS from this particular routers and take the license with the minimum cost, and you are the now part of the SD-WAN fabric. So that's why they just rename that ASR or ISR router when it's compatible with the SD-WAN solution, they just rename as a CS, Cisco Edge. So this was the second development, right? But your controller are going to remain same. It is not going to be changed. vBond, vManage, and vSmart, and it was happening till this software. Till
One more question, Pankaj. Can we convert UCS boxes into Cisco Edge?
UCS box. UCS is something like the these are the like storage, right?
Yeah, it's used for the Cisco Prime, like the communicate.
No, there is a predefined some hardware that can be only converted. The hardware in the virtual image. The UCS is not there in list, so that cannot be possible.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how the idea has been shifted from the Cisco SD-WAN from Viptela to Cisco SD-WAN. Any other question?
Sir, batch is starting since 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. sir.
So that is going to start from 10 a.m. only, but due to some confusion today, it was just rescheduled for 11 a.m. Okay, so just for today only, but the class originally is going to happen from the 10 a.m. from next week onward. Okay.
Because Pankaj, Abhishek sir informed me today is no class, so I am joining delay.
Yeah, actually just started batch. Like, there was some confusion. Apologize for that, but definitely this is going to be happen after next week. It is going to be corrected. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So moving next. So we
Pankaj.
understand.
Pankaj. Yeah, Pankaj, sorry for
Yeah.
the interrupt. Only that ASR, ISR only support for SD-WAN software or how?
There is more. There
As
is
of now.
more. Yes, there is a few more devices also available. I'll show you. Okay, in the list, actual list, I'll show you. Okay, what all devices are
Okay.
available. Yes, some virtual images are also
Okay.
available, but hardware point of view, just think about the ASR, ISR devices. Okay. So
Okay.
now,
Both will support Pankaj.
yes,
Virtual and hardware both will support this
both.
image.
Okay. Both. Yeah, both
Okay.
will support.
Thank you.
So This vBond, vManage, vSmart was still known as the Cisco SDWAN, Viptela SDWAN till this 2010 image. But recently, they developed the 2011, 2012, where they again did the rebranding. They again did the rebranding. So what they have done, they name vBond as a validator, right? vManage is the just manager, and vSmart they just name as a controller. And this edge is going to be just edge. If you're taking the Viptela edge, that is going to remain same, or if you're taking the Cisco, that is known as the Catalyst SD-WAN. So that is how it is going to happen. So now they just rename it and make that your device is just known as the, like this solution is just known as the Catalyst SD-WAN, right? So overall the solution here we can write here. So this is the new solution, but trust me, nothing is going to be changed in terms of the configuration, policy, and deployment. Only name is going to be changed. This validator, again, it is going to remain doing the same function as a vBond. This vManage, again, going to do that the same work, what rename as a manager. This vSmart going to do the same work, even it rename as the controller. Clear? So it's just the rebranding the thing. So sometimes company do the rebranding to sell their product with adding some few features. Yes, Gaurav, please ask your question.
Sir, is there any main difference between the VAs and between the Catalyst SD-WAN and Viptela SD-WAN? Is there
No major difference, only it's a rebranding, just rebranding, no major difference, only the iOS has been changed. You'll find some kind of the new look dashboards, nothing else is going to be changed. It's just rebranding. And trust me, even they're rebranding it, but even you are planning to do the CCI labs, okay, if you are going to do as per the new rebranding solutions and rename, it is not going to come in the CCI lab for the next 1 year at least. It is just going to use the legacy one, because their lab is just set up for the still on the 20 series or 19 series of the versions for CCI labs. So
okay.
So it's just rebranding. Okay, no need to worry about that.
Okay.
Now moving to the component part. Okay, so yesterday we have done the very deep dive about the all solution, but how this solution has been further segregated. In this slide, we understand we having the control planes, but even the control planes we having a subplanes, and this control plane has been divided into multiple subplanes. So we just have to understand, and then we have to understand the data plane as well. Okay, so here if you see that control plane having a 3 devices, you can see one is the vBond, one is the vManage, one is the vSmart. So if I'm saying something as a control plane, so it is just combination of the 3 devices. But further, these 3 devices has been segregated into 3 different plane. One is known as the orchestration plane, one is known as the management plane, and one is again renamed as the control planes, right? And the last but not least, the data plane. And data plane is your actual router. It could be the VH or could be the CH. So I hope you understand what is a VH, what is a CH. I hope nobody having any query about it. If have, please let me know. Your orchestration plane going to like deal by the vBond. So vBond is the one of the device who going to stay on the orchestration plane. So this is known as the vBond, and this is the very powerful. Your management plane is vManage. Your control plane is the vSmart, right? Data plane is the vSmart. So why we use these all devices? So let me just give the little bit idea, and then we'll go the deeper side about the every functionality, right? So if we talk about orchestration plane, so this is single point of the contact for any kind of the onboarding. Likewise, I have given the example yesterday. SD-WAN always follow the zero trust fabric rule, right? Zero trust fabric. So what does mean zero trust fabric? Zero trust fabric, that means if you are trying to join my fabric, by default it is deny. Means you are not allowed to join. You are going to be dropped by default. Unless or until you are going to prove your identity. If you fail to prove your identity, you are going to be dropped. So your your vBond is responsible to do that all checks. So again, I'm repeating that statement what I given in study class. Let's say suppose you are going to join any of the organization, right? Your organization having the HR, who having a responsibility, any day 0 like engineer is going to join the company, they will do the joining formalities. And while doing the joining formality, they will verify your all credentials. Likewise, your certificates, your PAN card, your Aadhaar card, your passport, and other ID proofs, whatever they're going to require. And once they're happy with your credentials, then they will welcome to company, and then they will introduce to your manager, right? Hey, this is your manager or team lead or your team, and then he further introduced to all your team's leads. So you, right, further HR, further your manager, right, or might be team lead, and then your colleagues. So you let's suppose new device, any new device. This could be the VH, CH, or even the controllers, any device, right? Any controllers device also. HR is, it is fixed responsibility, we want. Manager is, it's the we manage. Colleagues is all branch site. Clear? So first you joining the company, you have to prove your identity. Then we want further going to introduce to your vManage. vManage further going to, or by the help of the vSmart. I'll just tell I'm saying this is the high level, so just you understand. But in the low level, I'll explain how things is going to actually work in the reality. But in the high level, you understand how the things is going to be happen. And then your colleagues is going to be into that is a nothing. It's all branch sites. So your branch site looks like in this way. Let me show you. So these are all your branch site. So this is going to be introduced to all your branch site. How you are going to communicate to the fabric. So orchestration plane is the one of the key things where vBond is going to stay, and vBond is going to be do all your work to just control the fabric, authenticate the fabric, and then introduce to your all manager colleagues, whatever you have. Okay. Once it is going to onboarded you, his responsibility is going to be done, and it will do some other works also. I'll explain later stage what other works is going to be done by the vBond. But the primary is just onboarding the devices. Okay, clear vBond? So this is the vBond. To the vManage, right? So vManage the single pane of glass. So it is a single pane of glass. That means by sitting in this vManage, you can basically do all configuration of the devices, all T-shoot you can do, troubleshooting you can do, policy creation, any kind of day-to-day activity, reporting and everything, right? You can do via the vManage. So it is just a very powerful tool, this single pane of glass. By sitting on this vManage, you can do all your things. Management, configuration, troubleshooting, log, reports, whatever you want to do that, you can do that. Now it is also sometimes coded as a single tenant and sometimes known as the multi-tenants. So probably people is going to ask, what is a single tenant? What is a multi-tenants, right? Just think about, if I'm saying a single tenant, so what does mean? So I'm just giving one of the example so you can understand easily. Let's just suppose this is one of your router, right? This router having one routing table. And what is we known as This is known as the global routing table. We all already know that. So this is the global routing table. So once we having the multiple entry point, means different ISP sending the route, right? The all route is going to stay in the global routing table. This is a normal scenario, right? So when we store all of the routing in the single routing table, that is known as the global routing table. But let's say suppose I create the separate VRF. Like I just divide the routing table in the 4 part. The VRF A, VRF B, VRF C, and the one is a global routing table. So now my router resource has been divided in the 4 part, and it can be allocated to different customer. So any routing in this domain cannot see by default to this and this and this. So all are going to be isolated. So now my resource has been divided into multiple parts. This is the routing table and the VRF concept. We know that. So once we having a single routing table, that is a global routing table, you just think about the single tenant, right? Means you are not sharing your resource. Similarly, that means you having one vManage, right? An entire vManage just dedicated to one customer, that is known as a single tenant. But when you just split the resources of the vManage into multiple parts like the A, B, C, and D, then it is going to be known as the multi-tenant. Means the same resource of the device you just divide into the multiple part. Like you have heard about the like PG, right? So PG might be we having a system, we can use the 2 beds. So this is the shared. Might be you are going to stay here and someone, your friend, or might be the other unknown person is going to stay here. So this room has been shared. So this is the known as the multi-tenant, right? Tenant, you know that we are just taking something on the rent. And if you are just taking one PG and you're just paying like for the one bed for yourself, so it is known as single tenant, but you have to pay more for here. Pay more. Here you pay less because you are just sharing your resources, sharing one resource with the 2 peoples. So this is the concept of the single tenant, the multi-tenant. So don't be confused if someone is going to ask, please make them understand what is the meaning of the single tenant and multi-tenant. So our single pane of glass is responsible for the all configuration, all troubleshooting, any kind of the policy template that are part of the configuration, day-to-day activity like reporting, logging, anything you want to do, ping, trace, that is all going to be happen from the management plane, right? In addition of that, it can be known as a single tenant, a multi-tenant. We know what is the meaning of single tenant and multi-tenant, right? So I hope it is clear to everyone. Moving to the third component, right? This we understand, this we understand. This is the vSmart. So what is the vSmart? So vSmart is just one of the component you can think about. This is the brain of SD-WAN. This vSmart is the brain of the SD-WAN because all intelligence, all SD-WAN fabric intelligence is going to handle by the vSmart. And what is the intelligence? Like the policy about the routing, about the IPsec key. This all is going to handle by the vSmart. So any routing decisions in a fabric you want to take, that always going to taken care by your vSmart. Sorry, vSmart is the only responsible devices. So he is just going to do the policy. He is just going to do the routing, IPsec key exchange. Everything is going to run by the vSmart. So it is the controller. So all routing is going to be stored in the brain, and brain having a responsibility to share the routing information to different branch locations. I'll show how it is going to be happen. So you guys
Hello.
can understand. Yes, please.
So Pankaj, I have one doubt. So vManage and vSmart both are different. Means that vSmart only that election, that routing process, and vManage is the creation. Is correct?
vManage, you can do the configuration there, but it
Okay.
is going to configuration is going to deploy to the devices, but
Okay.
routing decision is going to taken by the vSmart. Even you can
Okay.
define the routing in the vmanage, but it is just going to, just think about this way. Let's say suppose you having one notepad, okay? Just basic, very basic example. In
Okay.
notepad, you create the, some static route, right? In notepad, but you just copy the this route, static route, and paste to the router. So your configuration creation is happening on the notepad, but you are pasting to the router. So this is doing by the vmanage. You just creating the configuration and you just pushing to the routers or the controllers. Then it is going to take the decision on it.
Yeah, that's what the configuration creation is the vmanage.
Right.
Pankaj, I have one more query here. What is the difference between vSmart and vBond? vBond, you are saying that vBond validating something, right?
vBond, yes, yeah. vBond is just two responsibility. One, you understand, it's a primary responsible to just onboard any devices. Even vmanage also going to contact first to vBond. Even new vBond is introducing to your company, it is also going to contact to the vBond, serving active vBond. Any vSmart is going to come, that is also going to first to vBond. Any VH is going to come.
Yeah, vBond in the, like, it will complete the process of the authentication.
Yes, authenticator, main authenticator means if you
Yeah.
are new to the company, you have to prove your identity first to your HR or your security personnel. Then only you are allowed to go inside of the company. Similarly, we want is just authenticator, nothing else. One more work they have, that is a NAT. I'll
Every
cover it.
every component should communicate with vBond first, right?
Yes, first time you always have to reach to vBond. Without reaching to vBond, you
The
cannot go to any.
vBond only validating all the things, right?
Yes. It's a validator. That's why its
Okay.
name also rename as the new Cisco SD-WAN. We want just rename as the validator.
Sir, when
now
will we start a Hindi batch?
हिंदी बैच, अगर कोई दिक्कत आ रही है आप पूछ सकते हो सौरभ, हिंदी में कोई दिक्कत बात नहीं, बट दिस बैच विल बी
कंप्लीटली हिंदी चाहिए था मेरे को। आपसे पहले भी बात हुई थी, आप बोल रहे थे जल्दी स्टार्ट करेंगे, अभी तक स्टार्ट ही नहीं हुआ।
नहीं, एक बैच हमारा हुआ था पीछे SD-WAN का हिंदी में हुआ था
वो
पिछला बैच।
आपने बोला था ना, वो अभी आधा हो चुका है, अभी नेक्स्ट बैच स्टार्ट करेंगे।
चलो हम बात करते हैं, ठीक है? लेट्स फर्स्ट कंटिन्यू दिस सेशन, ओके सौरभ? विल डिस्कस अबाउट दिस, ओके? ऑलराइट, सो it's become the validator. So validator is something where it is just going to validate the devices, right? vmanage is something where we can do all configuration, right? And it is going to push to the devices. vSmart is just brain, nervous system of the SD-WAN. It is responsible for the just understand routing, all routing and any kind of the intelligence like the policy, right? Any kind of the IPsec key exchange. This is going to be responsible. Clear? So these are the three control plane devices, and I hope you guys understand. Let me just repeat in the documentation point of view, but just understand the high level view. The next thing is VH. This is your actual router. It's nothing, it's a router. By the help of the router, you can basically do the actual site level packet switch from one port to another port. Means your LAN is going to be connected. So any packet you are receiving from the LAN, you want to send to the WAN, you can do that, or within the LAN you want to send, you can do via this router. This could be the VH or could be the CH. CH is the Cisco edge, VH is the Viptela edge, right? So this is known as a data plane devices. It could be the physical box or it could be the virtual box. The router could be physical, but this device is never ever going to be physical box. This always going to be virtual. Okay, this all will be the virtual. They are not a physical device, but these routers can be the physical or can be the virtual. So in our labs, everything is a virtual because we are doing this lab and we cannot integrate the hardwares. These are all are in the virtual. But if you see that some component of the SD-WAN of the edge devices, let me show you. If you, we already covered, like we want is orchestration two main function. I told that is a facilitate discovery control plane element, VH routers notify their public IP NAT. So NAT function, I'll explain this all again, okay, with a better way. But let's understand, the controller can always deploy in the cloud or might be the your ESXi or KVM. There is no hardware. You can only find the image. So if you want to deploy the vBond, you'll get the virtual image. vManage, you'll get the virtual image. vSmart, you'll get the virtual image. You all with the virtual. You can deploy in the ESXi, KVM or servers because there is no
सर
dedicated
सपोज
hardware.
मेरे पे कोई एग्जिस्टिंग सर्वर है तो मैं उस पर कर सकता हूँ इंस्टॉल
हाँ आप कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं.
AWS Azure पे भी लेके जा सकता हूँ
है ना, देखो इसको hosted भी हम कर सकते हैं. You can host it the AWS and Azure as well. So you can have these two deployment method. This is for the controller. There is no physical appliances. Okay, clear. Moving next, if you talk about the routers, this could be the physical, this could be the hardware. So majority of the case of the branch location you will
जैसे
find.
मैं सर्वर के ऊपर KVM डाल के और ये डालता हूँ, मतलब इमेज डालता हूँ, तो इसमें लाइसेंस मांगेगा मतलब, राइट?
हाँ लाइसेंस मांगेगा डेफिनेटली, बिना लाइसेंस को चलेगा नहीं है. लाइसेंस आपको अरेंज करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है,
नहीं जैसे इमेज डाल के मतलब वो रन कर दें तो उसमें उसके
नहीं
बाद
नहीं, SD-WAN में पूरा फुल फंक्शन लाइसेंस चाहिए आपको. बिना लाइसेंस का आपका SD-WAN चल ही नहीं सकता है.
ठीक है सर.
ठीक है, वो मैं बताऊंगा कि कैसे आपके लाइसेंस के पैसे बताने हैं. ठीक है अभी सारी लैब मैं करूंगा तो यूल गेट, क्योंकि मैंने तो अभी सिस्को से लाइसेंस खरीदने जाऊंगा तो लाखों में होगी, तो उतना तो कोई पे ही नहीं कर पाएगा. सो इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू डू दैट ऑल, राइट. सो व्हाट इज अ वर्क अराउंड टू गेट दैट ऑल वर्केबल? हमारे पास तरीका है, बाय यूजिंग दोज things we'll do the actual licensing and we'll get the all feature activated. All right,
okay sir, got it.
so this could be the hardware, that is a VH1000, VH2000 और छोटे राउटर्स भी हमारे पास है, VH100 और एक हमारे पास VH5000 भी है, और भी मॉडल है. ये सारे हार्डवेयर हैं आपके, राइट. सो दीज आर गोइंग टू बी हैपन इन दिस वे. सो VH कैन बी डिप्लॉय इन द ऑन प्रेमिसेस और कैन बी द होस्टेड और कैन बी द हार्डवेयर. ये इसके तीन मॉडल हार्डवेयर खरीद सकते हो, तो ये सब भी मिलेंगे. अगर आप इसको ऑन प्रेमिसेस इफ यू वांट टू डिप्लॉय, दिस कैन बी डिप्लॉय. इफ यू वांट टू डिप्लॉय इन द होस्टेड, इट इज आल्सो पॉसिबल. यू कैन डिप्लॉय इन द होस्टेड इन द AWS and Azure as well, right. So this is the deployment method of the devices. Moving next, if we talk about the further deeper side about this device functionality in official outline of the course, so you'll see here the first is the vBond. So likewise I explain, vBond is known as the orchestration plane, control plane or management plane, also known as the validator. So the first things of the vManage is, if you want to validate anything, vBond is going to validate that things. So that's why it's become the orchestration plane. So first point of the authentication whitelisting model. So it is just going to authenticate, validate, then it is going to distribute the information, whatever they have received, to other devices. Like whatever the information they receive from the end device point of view, this is going to distribute the vSmart, vManage, and the vEdge routers. That's why I told, like the vBond is going to further communicate with the managers and your colleagues. So your information is going to pass to everyone. So everyone come to know, hey, someone joined to my company, someone joined to my company. So
Pankaj,
this, yeah.
Sorry for the interrupt. Initially, you told that vSmart, vManage should come when first time going to communicate with the vBond. Am I right? Once the vBond is validating all the policy and routing, after it will respond back to that vSmart, vManager. How?
Yes, after that it is going to respond back. Once they validate, then it is going to distribute the information with the vSmart, vManage, and on vEdge routers, all the vEdge routers. Before, they are not going to do that.
Okay.
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 All right. So this is about the your orchestration plane device. Now, one more major functionality of the vBond is a NAT. So every NAT traverses, let's suppose your device is behind of the NAT device. So if you want to do the NAT traversals, NAT mapping, so it is just going to done by the vBond. So all NAT information, NAT mapping is going to manage by the vBond. So this is the second responsibility of the vBond. Only two major responsibility. One is just onboarding the devices, authenticating the devices, validating devices, and second, all are the same. Second is just performing the NAT functionality. If you have to NAT available in your network, so it is just going to perform by your orchestration plane, right?
Sir, public to private, it will.
Yes, public to private. It's all mapping is going to happen. Okay, I'll explain how it is going to happen in later stage. Okay, and what is the
So Pankaj, all NAT related policy will be resided in this orchestration under the
no, no. Policy is not residing in the orchestration plane. There is no policy. There is no routing. Only it is just validator. It is just going to validate you. You are right or wrong. They just having the your credential informations. Let us suppose you are traveling somewhere, right? So your passport is going to validate by the passport like the immigration team in the airport, right? So they are just going to validate you are right or wrong. And then further, after going inside of the plane, you might be go with the various security checks. You just go with the your flight ticket checks and many other things you have to do. But first, to enter in the airport, you just have to validate everything is fine or not from your visa and your passport point of view. So this is the first point. And inside might be having a lot of checks. Once you did the validators, or other action is going to happen. Like actual flight is going to take and fly from there. So routing is going to happen via the flight. But before the routing, your validation is must. So onboarding validation is going to happen by the orchestration plane, that is a vBond. This is the one major, say the primary function of the vBond. There is no routing, there is no policy. Only second thing, NAT information is going to happen managed by the vBond. Clear to everyone?
Yes, Pankaj. Only that NAT only that validator is correct or wrong. The
Yes,
NAT.
yes,
that's all.
NAT and valid. That's two things. Nothing else.
So other things, the configuration, everything will do that we manage only.
I'm coming. Just you focus this vBond. I'm coming one by one, everyone. Okay, so you'll try to make a note. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Why it's a highly resilience? Why it's a highly resilience? So in actual production environment, you require the two vBond, right? So why two vBond? Because if let's suppose one somehow get failed, so you require the resiliency, right? So you always require the resilience, highly resilience. So you have to make the cluster of the vManage, vBond, and vSmart all should be in the cluster. So if one goes down, another will take the role. So this is how you can basically do the validation part. Okay.
Both
So,
vBonds are in same location or different locations?
no, it could be any locations.
Any
It could be the any geolocation or could be the same location. But most of the company preferred, let's suppose you having the one data center in the US, so they put one location there and one in, let's suppose in the Dubai, so they can put in the, or Frankfurt, they can put the second in there. So this is how they make the resiliency. So if my one authenticator is going to be down, so I'll switch the traffic to another authenticator.
Thank you.
All right. So this is the second thing. Now moving next. Now it's the management plane. That is the new terminology known as the manager. It's renamed. If you learn about the Catalyst SD-WAN terminology, this has been renamed as the manager. So this manager is, or vManage is, both are the same, is responsible for day 0, day 1, day 2 operations. So what is a day 0, day 2, day 2 operations? That is something by using this all, you can do all configuration, all management, all operations. So that's why I keep saying this is a single pane of glass to do everything. Like every configuration you can do that. But you are doing the configuration, it doesn't mean it having the any kind of intelligence. No, it's just the device where you can do the configuration, but the configuration is going to push to the actual brains or actual routers who is have to process the routing engine's decisions and the data plane traffic. So this is the management plane. So it is known as a single pane of glass, and which is responsible for day 0, day 1, day 2 operation works. It can be the multi-tenant or the single tenant, which I explained clearly what does mean. Centralized provisioning means because it's the single device by sitting on the vManage, and you can do every work. Like you can do the troubleshooting, you can do the configuration, you can do any kind of the checks, log, reporting. So it's just centralized provisioning. No need to
Pankaj,
jump.
Pankaj, what about that backup? Is it possible to take backup from vManage for all CH routers?
So backup by default, it is available. All configuration is available in the vManage. So if you want to, like, it's also going to work in the cluster. Means one device is going to down, another will come in a picture. So your backup will be always available. So just think about it's the tool, right? Let's suppose you having the laptop, right? Your laptop having your some data. So till the time your laptop is working, your all backup is available inside the laptop, right? You can always copy and use that backups, right? But if it is dead, so you lost the all backup. So what you do, you might be having a similar laptop ready where you can just replicate all the data. So even this date, you can retrieve the data from here. If not, then probably you'll lose everything. So similarly in the vManage, we having the two set of the vManage because this is the going to act as the high resilience. So in any region, this vManage is going to be down or corrupt or dead for some reason. Still my data is available in this. But still, if you want to integrate this vManage with third-party tools, which is not recommended because it's going to be add-on extra cost to just take the configuration backup, you can do that also. But it is not required. It's a powerful, all backup is always going to be available and it's a cloud-based device. So there is a very low chance it is going to be, destroy all the data. And always also you're going to use the resiliency part. Okay. So
Yeah, sure.
So V analytics is like the part of the this V analytics is not part of the Cisco SD-WAN terminology, but you just think about we can integrate to just analysis with the let me show you where was some. Let me just show one slide so you can understand probably in this also. So say third party integration, right? Third party integration V analytics. So this is just for the analyzing your all the reports, logs, database configuration, your health of the devices. This can be do by the V analytics. So this is something where you can analyze your database, like what type of configuration I have done. You can analyze your health of the devices, your circuit utilization. So this is the something is known as a V analytics, but you don't have to use this. Okay, it is always going to every functionality is going to use it within the vManage, and that is also referred as a V analytics because you can just refer every reports, every utilization, everything from the vManage itself, right? So moving next, you can do the centralized provisioning. You can create the policies and template. I said like the vManage. You can do the troubleshooting and monitoring. You can do the software upgrade process from the vManage. You can do the graphical user interface, rollback access, whatever you want to define the roles for the particular user. You can do that also possible. You can do the third party integration with the help of the REST API, and it is going to highly like
Pankaj,
resilience.
sorry for the interrupt.
No
Actually,
problem.
we smart only going to create some policies, right? Here also we can possible.
No. See, every things configuration, every configuration is going to happen in the vManage. Understand? There is no configuration is going to happen in the vSmart. The configuration is going to happen on the vManage, and this is going to push the configuration to the vSmart. So
Okay.
vSmart will only take the configuration, but there is no configuration you can do manually on the vSmart.
This is act as a dashboard, right?
Sorry,
Dashboard.
this is just dashboard where we can do the all configuration.
Okay.
Sir, can
So-
I get the document?
Yes, you can get a document. Definitely, these all document you will get.
Okay.
Okay.
क्योंकि
So
जो पहले वाले हैं ना उनमें है नहीं है शायद, लगता है या क्या है?
अच्छा पहले वाले में नहीं होंगे यार, ऐसा नहीं होगा, 100% होगा। नहीं होगा तो मैं देख लेता हूँ अभी, ठीक है ठीक है। सो moving next. So we understand about the vManage, right? And after vManage, we having a next step is the vSmart. Okay, next one is a vSmart, and vSmart is something like it is responsible, like I mentioned, for the all routings. This is the brain nervous system of the controllers. So facilitate fabric discovery. So what does mean? So facilitate fabric discovery, that mean with the help of the routing informations, it is going to connect one branch to another branch to do the communications. Dissimulate the control information between the edge. What is the control? Again, it's like the your routing informations. So whatever the routing, let's say suppose in this scenario, let's say suppose this is the one edge. He want to talk, this edge want to talk to this edge. So they having their LAN subnet, might be the LAN subnet is 10.10.10.0/24, and here we having the LAN subnet 172.16.10.0/24. These are the two LAN subnets we have. They want to communicate. So first they will go to the vSmart. Hey, I want to talk to this LAN. vSmart is going to tell how you can reach to this device. It's just going to tell the routing. So probably routing will tell you can reach via the MPLS, then it is going to come via the MPLS. It is just going to tell the routing. It is your routing is not going to happen in this way. Communication is not going to happen in this way. It is just going to tell the routing you can reach via the MPLS or the internet or the 4G. I'll cover later how it is going to happen. So your routing is going to give to any edge devices from the vSmart, and then once you having a routing, you can take the local decision to reach to the any other branch location. So this is the dissimulate control plane information.
नहीं सर,
Also
राउटिंग डिसीजंस जो लेगा वो vSmart लेगा ना मेरे.
हाँ vSmart ही routing decision लेगा, but routing decision लेकर ये खुद कुछ नहीं करेगा. This is going to give the routing decision to the VH. It is just going to give the instruction to the VH. If you want to talk, just follow this routing and go this way.
सपोज
इससे
जैसे राउटिंग टेबल्स वगैरह बनेंगे वो सब vSmart के अंदर ही बनेंगे सर.
नहीं, समझो बात को. राउटिंग टेबल इज गोइंग टू क्रिएट इन द VH. vSmart के पास भी रहेगा. It is going to create the one routing table, but it is just going to have the all possible routing tables, but it is just going to give the routing table information to VH. So VH also having the routing tables. This all devices having the routing tables. और ये routing table it will come from the vSmart to the VH.
अच्छा, मतलब एक दूसरे से रीचेबल रहेंगे सारे VH जितने भी हैं मेरे.
Right. They all are going to reach. Yeah.
Pankaj, how the routing table build here?
Just hold. I'll cover. Okay. I'll cover. Okay. Because
सर,
I have to
मतलब
show.
पहले मतलब सर सॉरी एक
No problem. Yeah,
पहले
please.
ये मेरा कोई भी डिवाइस जाएगा पहले मतलब ऑथेंटिकेशन प्रोसेस करेगा या मतलब सीधा ये vSmart के पास जाएगा.
नहीं. Let's suppose. Let me just explain this. Let's suppose there is one new router, right? This is a new router, right?
Right.
This want to join this fabric or talk to this fabric. This is the new one. There is no information. So once you connect the power, you connect the WAN cable by any other transport. You need to connect, na? And once you connect the LAN cable to the switch. So power is on, WAN is connected, LAN is connected. So first thing they will reach to the vBound, right? And vBound will authenticate it. This is the first thing via the transport. So once it is going to be authenticated, then vBound will pass the information to the vManage, vSmart. Someone newly reached to you, right? Then vManage is going to push the configuration. Whatever the configuration is going to create the vManage, all configuration is going to push to the VH, right? Based on the configuration, they are going to build the routing OMP session with the vSmart. Then they will get the all routing information from here. And once they have routing information, they will start talking to these routers. This is the step, the high level steps. I'll explain the low level, but just understand this is the high level steps, how it is going to happen.
Will copy all the configuration to the new router.
Yes, vManage is responsible to copy all the configuration because this is the new, there is no configuration. So who will get the configuration?
Okay,
vManage is,
vBond will take only the decision that where I have to send the routes and all the.
no, vBond is just responsible to authenticate it, validate and pass the information. This is not root and all. Root is
on vSmart, sir.
vSmart. Yes, vSmart is further. Once he is going to get the configuration, he will build the session with the vSmart because vSmart information also going to receive from the vManage, na? So he will build the OMP session between the vSmart. Then once OMP session is going to build, then our routing will share from the vSmart to the VH.
Right. Got it.
And then it is going to build the side-to-side communication.
Pankaj, in this diagram flow, the vSmart vManage should not communicate with vBond, right? You're showing. You shown.
What is vManage? What is
the first time you told first time the vSmart and vManage should communicate with the vBond. Once the vBond validated successful, then vBond respond to vSmart vManage. You told, right?
Let me just give me 1 second. Let me summarize in better way. Okay. So see where it is. So see, this is the vSmart and the VH, right? So first thing, vSmart and the VH, they are going to form the OMP sessions, right? So all these are the OMP. So all routing is going to receive from this one, right? From this OMP, routing is going to receive from the vSmart. But here is one more flow. Yeah, but your configuration of the device, it is not having, okay. But you just think about there are 3 components, okay. This is the, here we having the one device, that is the vBond, right? And one device we have, that is the vManage, right? They also communicating to each other. It also communicating to each other. It also communicating. This is clear. And this also communicating to this here. This already you know that. And this also communicating to this, right? This is clear. This VH will communicate to the vBond also. This is going to communicate to the vSmart also, right? And this is also going to communicate to vManage also. So why they communicate to vBond first time? And this is a temporary connection. Temporary connection. Why? I'll explain later stage. Once any device is going to be onboarded, the first time it is going to be authenticated by the vBond. Once authentication done, this connection will be broken. Not required. This is not going to require. So this can be, you can remove from this list because your authentication done. So you understand this information. Once authentication done, it will say, hey, someone joined to new. It will pass this information to this and this. Okay, clear? Once this information reach to vManage will check, do I have any configuration for this new edge device? Do I have any configuration? If it have the configuration, it will push the all configuration to this device via net conf protocol or YANG. This is the 2 things. These are the protocols. Net conf or YANG via DTLS or TLS tunnel. I was about to come, but you guys asked me, so I just put it. So once they will push the configuration, so now this configuration having all information, even it know the vSmart also, other site location also, what they need to do. So once the configuration is going to receive from the vManage, it is going to form one of the tunnel. This is the OMP tunnel for the routing to the vSmart. Okay. Then once the tunnel is going to form that OMP, the all routing, let's suppose this router is already serving. This routing information is going to exchange to this device. Once the routing is exchanged, then he is going to build the IPsec tunnel direct site to site, and they will communicate via directly to the branch to branch. This is your data plane traffic. So routing is going to exchange via the OMP, and this OMP route is going to receive by the VH. VH once receive the routing, they know how to reach the device, and then they use the MPLS transport or internet transport, and they will build the IPsec tunnel here. By building the IPsec tunnel, they can communicate from one location to another location. Make sense, guys? Little bit. I'll cover it in detail, no worry. So we are just in very basic stage, but definitely you guys are asking, but it makes sense or not? Is still someone not understandable? So we having, you
Sir,
can say we having
sir,
the, yeah, please go ahead.
sir, VS is no need to go with VS Mart to reach the another VS.
No, it is not, there's no connection. It's less routing decisions. There's no direct, your actual data traffic is going to direct from site to site. There's no traffic is going via the vSmart.
Okay, means IPsec tunnel with IPsec tunnel.
Yes, IPsec. Your data traffic always going to branch to branch. It is never going to use these tunnels. This is for the routing information only. So that's why you can see here we having a various tunnels information, overlay tunnels. That is OMP tunnel, DTLS tunnel, IPsec tunnel, and VFD tunnels. So we having the various things here, and these all are responsible for different functions. Make sense? I'll explain each and everything in detail. Just wait for a while. I'll explain each and everything in very detail. So now we understand about the vSmart functionality, right? So implement the control plane policies such as the service chaining, your multi-topology, multi-hop, everything is going to be managed by the vSmart, that policy in the routing. Last but not least is the data plane. This is the actual device which is known as the WAN edge router. Provide secure data plane with the remote edge routers. Means if you want to make the connections, you want to communicate, then they are going to provide the secure data plane. What is secure data plane? That is your nothing, it's the IPsec tunnels. So they are just going to build the IPsec tunnel over the public transport, and then your traffic is going to reach from one location to another location via the IPsec tunnel, and then you are going to communicate. So this is the something, provide the secure data plane with the remote edge, establish secure control connection with the vSmart. See here. So at the same time, when building the IPsec tunnel, they also build the one of the tunnel that is the known as the your OMP tunnel. This is the OMP tunnel. So they also build the OMP tunnel. For why OMP is required? To exchange the routing information, routing and policy information. If you need, you require this OMP tunnel. Implement the data plane. Yes, please.
Pankaj, so that the routing only decision the branch to branch, but not reaching to that vSmart, the routing. Only the OMP tunnel only establish the tunnel, the traffic will happening directly branch to branch.
Yeah, your data plane traffic always going to happen branch to branch, but only OMP is just going to whatever route of this router have, they send to the vSmart, and further this routing information going to share vSmart to the VH router. So this is going to happen via the vSmart to just exchange the routing information. But actually this branch want to talk to this branch, they will go via the IPsec tunnel. Okay. I know this is little bit confusing, but when I explain the labs part, you will get the very clear understanding on it. Okay, so you hold your thoughts for time being. I'm sure you guys will understand everything. Okay, no need to worry about that.
Thank you.
So moving next, so the next one is like implement data plane application of your routings, policies, everything. You can do the policy implementation, data plane policy, localized policy, application of a routing policy. You can all define in this particular all routers, and export the performance statistics. Means how your router is performing, all the interface utilizations, your graphs, your other parameters, QS and all. If you want to export that, it can be easily done by this particular your data plane device, that is a VH router. And you can integrate all traditional routing protocols. Let's suppose this branch having the VH and you having connected to your Cisco switch. right? This, let's suppose this Cisco switch. This is CS01 and CS02, and you want to run the OSPF, EIGRP, BGP, VRRP. It is going to be supported. I'll show each and everything in our upcoming configuration. So it is also going to be supported, and it is also going to be work with the SD-WAN routers. So this is going to be easily understand this all routing information and do the routing based on their these IGP protocols, IGP and BGP protocols. This is also going to support zero touch deployment. This is J2P process where I'll discuss this in more in the upcoming classes, and this can be physical or hardware factor. Okay, so this is a complete your control plane and data plane introduction, or like the understanding in the deeper side what is the functionality of the data plane and control plane, and I hope you guys clearly understand about it. All right, so this is the first part of the session. Okay, let's go, and because we have to do a lot of theoretical stuff, so I'm thinking to not do all theoretical stuff right now. We'll discuss in the upcoming class, but just try to do some lab part. We all are good to do the right now lab part.
Yeah,
Good,
fine.
So let's start the lab part, because a lot of theoretical things we have to understand. So we do like the first half as a theoretical, then we'll do the labs, and later on, once we have the very good understanding of theoretical part in after 2 or 3 class, then probably we will go more like deeper like configuration and troubleshooting in the lab only, because this is the main thing you just have to understand the lab part. Okay, so the first thing, whenever you just want to start your SD-WAN journey, so this is the lab we prepare for everyone, and it is just going to give the more complex scenario where you will get the almost every feature tested throughout the SD-WAN solution. So in this lab you can see we having the, this is your branch location, one branch location. This is the another branch location where we are using the CH router. This is the another branch location. This is the another branch location. This is your data centers. You can see here hub site where we having a 2 VH. These all having a single VH routers. You can see here, right? And this is your controllers. This is your control plane devices, and it is always going to away from the branch or data center. So this is your control plane devices where we having the vManage, we having the vBound, we having the vSmart, and another component we having the root CA. So this is why I am going to use. I'll explain this is the having the special purpose to use, but I'll explain why I am going to use. This control plane onboarding is going to happen first, and once this control plane onboarding is going to be done, we'll start onboarding the actual branch sites. And these branch having a two connectivity. One is the MPLS, one is the internet. So probably you guys might be have a thought process why there is a two kind of the connection. One is the MPLS, one is the internet, right? You must having such kind of the thought process. So see, before I explain this lab, we just have to understand two things. One is your underlay concept versus overlay concept. So what is the underlay concept and what is the overlay concept? We just have to understand, and then we can move it further. When I am going to explain the underlay concept, so might be this SD-WAN having a new in market, but it doesn't mean if you are become the SD-WAN engineer, you are the good to go for everything. No. Even SD-WAN in the market, you should have very good knowledge about the routing and switching. You should have this knowledge. Switching, at least you have the basic knowledge, but routing you should have good knowledge. And especially if I'm talking the routing, you should have the good knowledge about the static routing and the any IGP like the OSPF, EIGRP, and BGP. This is the exterior gateway protocol. So you should have this level of knowledge, because without knowing this all, and if you're trying to learn the SD-WAN, that's not going to, solve your purpose. Somehow you are going to struggle, right? So I would highly recommend, if you have some challenges in IGP routing protocol concept, especially for the EIGRP, OSPF, static routing, or BGP, at least you have sort of basic understanding, then you are good to start with the SD-WAN. If not, then I would suggest just brush up your skills and try to understand those things as well, right? What I was talking about the underlay and overlay. So what is the underlay and what is the overlay? Let me just write here again, underlay versus overlay. So see, underlay is something, let's say suppose I want to build the IPsec, I want to build the any overlay connections between controllers. This is the controllers. These all are the controllers. So I want to build the connections, right? This connection could be the overlay, and this is known as a DTLS connection or TLS connection. TLS is based on the TCP and DTLS is based on the UDP. And these are the layer 4. They stand in the layer 4, transport layer security, right? TLS is transport layer security. So these are the layer 4 protocols. So they are going to build the tunnel, but before build the tunnel, your basic IP reachability should be there. Basic IP reachability should be there. So if there is no IP reachability basic, you cannot form your TLS and DTLS tunnel. So whenever I'm talking the basic IP reachability, it's known as the underlay. So what does means? So that means if you are trying to build any tunnel, let me just give some idea. Let me just use this one. Okay. So if we are talking about the underlay versus overlay, right? This we are discussing. So let's say suppose there are 3 routers, R1, R2, basic topology I'm explaining, R3. There should be some IP like .1, .2, .1, .2. This could be the subnet of 10.10.10.0/24, and here could be the 20.20.20.0/24. These are the 2 subnets, right? So I just defined the IP address. Someone asked me to build the IPsec tunnel. The first requirement to build the IPsec tunnel. Or let me just do one thing more. I just want to define an IP this way. Let's suppose this is the 12.0.0.0/24. This is a 23.0.0.0/24. Why I use this become the public IP address. Okay. So they are the public IP address. So someone asks you to build the IPsec tunnel. So the first thing to build the IPsec tunnel, there is a prerequisite. What is the prerequisite? This interface IP address means 12.0.0.1 should able to reach 23.0.0.2. This is the prerequisite. If you are not able to ping from here to here, this ping is not working, or there is no, if ping is somehow blocked here, you don't have the reachability information, you cannot build the IPsec tunnel. This is the prerequisite. Without making your reachability from one public IP address to another public IP address, you cannot build any kind of the tunnels. So whenever I am talking about the prerequisite, the reachability, it always refer as the underlay concept. Means your underlay should be reachable. So how it is going to reachable? How it is going to reachable? There is a two option. I can make this reachable via the static route,
Static route
yeah, or I can run any dynamic routing,
protocol.
yeah, dynamic routing protocol like the OSPF or EIGRP, or I can run the BGP. These are the things. So once I use this all to make them reachable, so this can reach to this. This is known as your underlay concept. So you're just making the basic IPv4 reachability, basic IPv4 or IPv6 reachability is known as underlay, right? So I hope you guys understand. So this is your underlay concept. So once you having the basic IPv4 reachability, you are good with the underlay and you can start building something known as the overlay. So overlay, then only possible you can create the tunnels from this location to this location. So you can form the tunnel. So now you able to reach from here to here. This is your underlay and this is the tunnel what you are creating. This is your overlay concept. So in our concept, we having a multiple overlay technology. One is the IPsec, DMVPN, DMVPN, GRE, right? These are the legacy native things. And just think about the VXLAN also, right? We having the Lisp protocol. These are the overlay, right? These are all the overlay. But if you're talking about the SD-WAN, similarly, we having the OMP, right? We having a DTLS, we having a TLS, we having the IPsec. These all are going to be used as a overlay. Got it? So to build this overlay again, OMP, DTLS, TLS, again we require the basic IP reachability. So I am just giving you the legacy Cisco environment solution, but if you just compare with the Cisco SD-WAN solution, it is going to remain same. So coming back to the lab, you can see here, just think this is one router, okay? This is one router, and this is one router, right? If they want to build some sort of the communication, to just build the overlay communication, they first reach to each other, either via this circuit or via this circuit. So we'll understand. So this become your underlay. So means from here you should able to ping here or from here you should ping to here. So once you able to ping this all, this both is going to known as the underlay concept, right? This is known as the underlay concept. Once you
Tunnel
having
is the
the
most important, sir, for
yes,
SD-WAN.
yes, without tunnel you can't do anything.
मतलब सर रीचेबिलिटी करनी है कैसे भी हो मतलब
हाँ
आईजीपी जीपी
हाँ, रिचेबिलिटी इज मस्ट, आपको रिचेबिलिटी करनी ही पड़ेगी
रीचेबिलिटी के
विदाउट।
ऊपर मेरा आईपी सेक टनल बैठेगा उसके ऊपर मेरी ओवरले चलेगी।
हाँ, so
Hi, Pankaj.
yes,
Sorry for the interruption. Today I'm drafting the call actually due to some personal work plan.
no problem. You have to watch the recording because the class is going to happen next 30 minutes more. Okay.
Can we wind up today early?
Okay, you guys want to wind up today early?
Yes.
Okay, so just give me 5 minutes. Okay, then I'll not going to configure the lab. So probably we'll do that next. But guys, please understand from next class onward, we just have to stay at least 2 hours. Okay, minimum.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Today is
Sure, Pankaj.
delayed. Yeah,
Yeah,
today is
okay,
delayed.
yeah, okay, no problem. So we understand the underlay and overlay concept. So next class we'll do the lab configuration part. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you. So any other question, guys? So I'm not going to touch further more topics. Okay.
हाँ जी सर।
All right.
Thank
So
you.
मेरा मेरा एक छोटा सा
हाँ बताइए टेल में।
एक्चुअली जब आपने कहा था कि राउटिंग की अच्छी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए EIGRP या OSPF और BGP, तो मुझे सिर्फ EIGRP और OSPF की बेसिक की नॉलेज है और साथ साथ मेरा भी ये चल भी रहा है कोर्स, मतलब कि तो क्या मैं SD-WAN करूँ या ना करूँ? I'm just asking to in person
देखो
personally.
दो चीजें हैं, ठीक है, कि अगर आपको ये पता है कि मैं आपको सिनेरियो देता हूँ, अपने आप से पूछना कि यू नो द आंसर, अगर आपको आंसर पता है तो आप करना, नहीं पता है तो मत करना, ठीक है। ये 3 राउटर्स हैं। मैं यहाँ पे एक लूप बैक बना देता हूँ,
ठीक है।
1.1.1.1 यहाँ पे एक लूप बैक बना देता हूँ, 3.3.3.3। मैं इसको बोलता हूँ स्टैटिक राउट से इसको रीचेबिलिटी करा दो। क्या आप करा पाओगे?
हाँ जी, करा दूंगा।
करा दोगे? सेम
हाँ
चीज
जी,
मैं बोलता हूँ कि इसको आप OSPF से रीचेबिलिटी करा दोगे आप?
करा दूंगा जी।
और BGP से बोलूँ तो?
वो नहीं करा पाऊंगा
वो नहीं, कोई बात नहीं। सो जब आपको इतनी
क्योंकि
पता
उसकी
है
बेसिक नॉलेज है बस मुझे थोड़ी बहुत
हाँ,
BGP
तो
की।
BGP का मैं सिखा दूंगा इसमें, BGP कैसे बेसिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, इसमें आपको बेसिक ही सीखना है। आपको इतना पता है कि BGP के नेबरशिप कैसे बनता है, ठीक है। जब इतना
ठीक है,
पता
कर
है,
लूंगा मैं।
स्टैटिक और OSPF पता है, तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड। सो यहाँ तो हम स्टैटिक यूज करेंगे, तो यहाँ पे तो कोई दिक्कत होगी नहीं आपको, लेकिन BGP में हम यहाँ पे एक नेबरशिप बनाऊंगा मैं यहाँ पे, तो स्टैटिक वाला
ठीक
तो
है।
आप बोल रहे हो आपको आता है, तो देयर इज नो गोइंग टू प्रॉब्लम। बाकी जो BGP का जो कॉन्सेप्ट आपको नहीं आता है, तो कैसे BGP के बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट होते हैं और कैसे हम EBGP IBGP बनाते हैं, वो मैं सिखा दूंगा आपको, तो यू विल गेट दैट नॉलेज इन्फॉर्मेशन, तो आप कर सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत की बात नहीं है।
और व्हाट इफ अगर जैसे कि आपका एक कोर्स हुआ, अगर मुझे बहुत हद तक कुछ चीज अगर मेरे माइंड स्किप हो गई, तो क्या मैं वो अगले आपके नेक्स्ट कोर्स में क्या वो मैं उसको फर्दर कंटिन्यू कर सकता हूँ कि नहीं?
आपसे बेटर कौन जान सकता है इस बारे में?
कर सकता हूँ, वही तो मुझे होता, कर सकता हूँ। मुझे
हाँ
हाँ बिल्कुल कर सकता
नहीं
हूँ,
नहीं,
मुझे पता ही।
100% कर दे यार, एक बार, 2 बार, 3 बार, 5 बार कर लेना, कोई दिक्कत की बात नहीं
हाँ
है। ठीक है,
ठीक
कोई
है सर,
दिक्कत,
ठीक है,
ठीक है,
डन
ठीक
है।
है,
मिलूंगा।